Hi everyone. Are you following Jesus? Eh? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Jamie and I am the Kansan Reader. I can't believe I'm already doing. It really doesn't feel like November is tomorrow, but it is, apparently. So, October was a very bad reading month. It was really bad reading month. I had 5 DNFs this last month. I'm really shocked. I don't think I've ever had that many DNFs in 1 month. First DNF is The Song of the First Blade by T.C. Edge. I really need to start reading synopsis and not go into blind, especially just because it has a pretty cover and a dragon on it. That was one of my problems. So, this is the first in the Bloodborne saga. So, the synopsis says, in the heart of Vandor, as dark forces close in, Elyon, a gifted Bladeborn, fights for his family's survival. In the war-torn northlands of Tukar, a servant girl with a mysterious past is forced on the run, propelling her on a journey that will change her world forever. From the Shadow 4, a secret power is unleashed, one that will set into motion a series of events that will bring the world to its knees. With the world on the verge of chaos and countless lives at stake, a new First Blade must be selected, but obstacles stand in the way. Alliances are broken, enemies are born, only the strong will survive. This is where it would have helped if I read the synopsis. Follow this epic tale as the battle for power, land, and the divine gifts of the fallen gods determine who lives and dies and who possesses ultimate control. I tend to stick away from books about fallen gods. Like right now, Silent Kingdom, that series is on the verge of what I normally don't like to read because of all the different like gods that they are worshiping. So yeah, that is like on the very verge. And then this, it was just, I was reading into it and where it was going I just didn't like. My next DNF is The Wandering Sword by Jacob Peppers. This one I was very disappointed in. So the synopsis on this reads, the hardest war is the one a man fights alone. 100 years ago, the Eternals, 13 men and women of immense power, closer, many believed, to gods than mortals, stood against the greatest threat the world had ever faced. And they lost. They died. All saved for one, known as the Youngest, who managed to flee with the enemy leader's weapon, a cursed blade of incredible power. So, to start off, I was very intrigued because I was like, ooh, this is almost like a Chosen One that failed. So I was like very intrigued. He has traveled for 100 years since, alone, save for his companion I don't even know how to say that. The only remaining horse of a legendary breed. The last, just as he is the last. Hunted by creatures out of nightmare, he seeks only to survive, to keep the magical blade from the enemy's grasp. Not to save the world, for the time for saving it is past. Instead, he seeks only to delay its ending. It is a battle he fights alone, For after they defeated the Internals, the enemy used their magic to pose as their conquered opponents, taking over rule of the world in their stead. For the last 100 years, the people have believed that the legendary Internals triumphed, that they are saved. Only the Wanderer knows the truth, that the world crouches with its head resting on the executioner's block, waiting for the axe to fall. And the only thing keeping the axe at bay is him. He had a name once, but he has it no longer. He is simply the last, the youngest. He is the Wandering Sword. I was so intrigued by this synopsis that I'm utterly devastated by this book and why I had to DNF it. Language, I would say, a lot of times doesn't bother me, but this was pretty much had a curse word in almost every single paragraph, and I'm like, okay, this is too much. Really did not want to DNF that because it sounded amazing. Now, the next one, Philia and the Fall Festival by Lealoa Humphreys. I don't know if I pronounced that first name right, but we'll go from there. So, first of all, this cover is gorgeous, and it was like autumn fairy tales. I have read many fairy tale retellings, so I was like, ooh, yes, done. Didn't read the synopsis, and once again, I should have. Trust me, there's going to be a bunch of books that I jump into blind that you guys will more than likely yell at me like, Jamie, read the synopsis. So this one's synopsis: she's the perfect princess with secrets she can never tell. He's a prince betrothed to another. Yeah. Their royal obligations pull them apart, so why do they keep finding themselves drawn to each other? When Princess Philia's brother is too ill to attend the fall festival at Applinglow Kingdom, she goes in his place. But being from a tropical island, Philia has never experienced the autumn season. That right there, you get that in the very beginning of the book, and I was like, oh, this is cool. But we'll get to my problems. Though she feels like a fish out of water, her guide, Crown Prince Dawson, is more than happy to make her feel at home. Phila has known Dawson from past adventures, but she can't help noticing there's something different in their acquaintance this time. She's betrothed to someone from her island kingdom. He's betrothed to someone for political purposes. They can never be together, yet there's something more sweet and cozy going on than cinnamon rolls, hot chocolate, and crisp autumn air. But even as the two start falling for each other, Phila has a secret she cannot speak aloud, for if she does, it will change the course of her future. When Phila's escort, a conniving aunt, discovers Phila's secret, there's more to risk than Phila's reputation. Will Phila and Dawson keep their hearts guarded, fulfilling their royal obligations, or will Phila's secret ruin whatever chance they have at being together? So this is a retelling of The Little Mermaid. It is a first in a collection of the Autumn Fairy Tales series, which are all by different authors. In this, it says when Phila's escort, a conniving aunt. From my notes, I have that this was her betrothed's mother, so this would have been her future mother-in-law. Either way, if I would have read the synopsis, I would have found out that they're both betrothed to two different people. So very much, it gives cheating. I did not make it far enough to know if they called off the betrothals before getting together. I really hope so. Reason I DNF'd this was Prince Dawson. Dawson gave me the ick. I'm really sad because a lot of people in different reviews, because I went to look at reviews to see if other people had the same problems as I did or if it would have gotten better. Well, first and foremost, everyone had that I've read that gave me the reason to DNF pretty much had the same thing to say about Dawson. He's a creep. He's ick, and yeah. Next, the part I did not get to was how the author used Phila to be like the perfect princess, like a toxic perfectionist. She really hits home on this, and so I was really sad that I didn't get to see that, but I just couldn't get past Dawson. Dawson was giving me the ick factor, and also they were betrothed to two different people, and like I said, I have written that her escort was her future mother-in-law, and homeboy flirted with her in front of her future mother-in-law, and I was just, I had enough. So my my second to last DNF is Yours is the Night by Amanda Dykes. This is my first Amanda Dykes book. I will try her again. I actually really do like her writing style. Again, I'm very disappointed to say that this is a DNF because at first I really loved the characters. I really loved where this was going, and I had this on Audible, which had 5 narrators for each of the different characters, which I really, really liked. The synopsis first. Private Matthews Pettigrew arrives in France as part of the American expeditionary forces on arrival, which a war-weary France desperately hopes will help to end the turmoil. Having faced unthinkable things on the front, he is captivated by the sound of a lullaby sung by a voice so pure he knows that he must have imagined it. But rumors sweep through the trenches like wildfire, dubbing the voice the Angel of Argonne, a mysterious presence who leaves behind wreaths on unmarked graves and footprints in war-packed soil. Raised wild in the depths of the forest of Argonne, France, Miralise finds her world rocked when war comes crashing into the idyllic home she has known, taking much from her. When Matthew discovers Miralise, 3 things are clear. She is alone in the world, she cannot stay, and he and his 2 unlikely companions might be the only ones who can get her to safety. Again, I will say I really liked the writing, and at the beginning I really, really did like all of the characters. But by the time I got to, I think it was the halfway point, I could not have cared less. I may pick this up later in the future, but as of right now, it's going to be a DNF. I was really sad because the way the audiobook was going was really, really great. I loved all the narrators for it, but I just couldn't care for the story. And there was another thing that I was questioning that made me think, I don't know if this will be the greatest book for me. I don't want to talk about that because it is a spoiler and I don't want to spoil anything for anyone, and I didn't find out if it would be a problem for me, so there's that. Is The Bookish Bandit by Erica Dancero and Britt Howard. I don't know if I said Erica's last name right. I don't think I did. Anyway, this is Steal My Heart, Not My Pages. Aspiring author Charlie Blair never expected to stumble across her own novel at her favorite bookstore. Except this novel isn't hers. Published under someone else's name, the book she wrote to cope with the loss of her missionary parents is already topping charts. Irate, confused, and determined to regain the rights to her book, Charlie leaves her idyllic life in the countryside of Vermont to set things right in the Big Apple. When she crashes into a charming stranger who offers to help her, her faith in humanity and God's handiwork is restored. But when secrets unravel and the final pages have been turned, what's too good to be true may turn a blossoming love story into a star-crossed tragedy. Andrew Ketnier, wow, where did I get that first one? Ketnier has it, charm, good looks, a sizable inheritance, and an almost guaranteed future at the helm of one of New York City's most prestigious publishing houses. While life looks perfect from the outside, living in the shadows of an overbearing father while reeling from the faith-crushing weight of personal loss has left him feeling like he's hardly living at all. When he stumbles across a discarded manuscript, he is convinced he will be instant success. It sparks an ember of hope he thought was long extinguished. The world looks brighter until he finds himself thrown into an impossible situation. Will he protect his family's legacy or end up falling in love with the woman whose novel they unwittingly plagiarized? Again, if I read the synopsis, we wouldn't be talking about this book, but I didn't, and yeah. So one of my other friends on Goodreads, I'm trying to remember her name. I'm horrible and I'm trying to find it, but for some reason Goodreads is not showing it. But she DNF'd this book, and I commented on her review, and I said, I'm sorry, I'm just beginning to start this book. And she says that the basis of the relationship was just built on lies, and there was just too much lying going on, and she just couldn't do it. And as this is supposed to be like a Christian fiction book, a Christian romance, lying being like one of the basis for the how the relationship starts, I'm not very comfortable with that. And the fact that we are told constantly in the Bible that we should not lie, I just decided it was going to be better to pass on this novel than to go further into it. So the next one is Can't Help Falling by Courtney Walsh. I did a book review on this. I will link that down below. I also have talked about this in a video of not liking my friends' favorites. I'll link that below as well. I said everything I needed to say about this book in those two videos. I don't think I need to rehash it for a third time on my channel. The next book is Breach of Honor by Janice Cantor. This is a Christian fiction. It's a suspense novel. This was my first time ever reading Janice Cantor. I think I got this on Kindle Unlimited. Yeah, I did get this on Kindle Unlimited. I just seen that. So, the synopsis is, as a police officer in Table Rock, Oregon, Leah Radcliffe puts her life on the line to help others every day. But at home, Leah's battling her own personal Brad. Is that how it really says? Leah's battling her own personal Brad. Her abusive husband, a fellow officer, celebrated hero, and beloved son of a powerful, prominent family. Brad's violent outbursts and suspicious activities have left Leah physically and emotionally scarred until one desperate action to put a stop to his abuse results in deadly consequences. Though public opinion seems ready to convict Leah, Officer Clint Tanner is one of the few to believe she acted in self-defense. As he works with Leah's attorney to produce the evidence they need, new truths about Brad's dark side come to light and reveal a deep-rooted problem in Table Rock. There are some who have breached their sworn duty to serve and protect, and they'll do anything to keep their secrets safe. Obviously, trigger warnings go into this, so I would definitely look that up. I, like I said, enjoyed this. I gave it 3 stars. I think this is the lowest rated book for October. Wow, I keep hiccuping. I'm so sorry. The biggest thing that I liked about this book was the faith element and how prayer is the first weapon a Christian has, and that should be our first response to everything is prayer. So I really, really loved the faith aspect in this. It is dual point of view. You get Leah's perspective and Clint's perspective. I did wish there was a little more courtroom drama, but that is to be said. I did have a book review for this on this channel as well. I will link that down below as well. Next is Silent Kingdom by Rachel L. Shade. This I rated 3.5 stars. It's the first in the Silent Kingdom series. Here is the synopsis. Chosen by truth, marked for death, Halia must choose to save her kingdom or let it fall. Miss Roth's king has died, and the entire kingdom is in mourning, or so it seems. After her father is crowned regent in his brother's stead, Princess Halia discovers a terrible truth that could end her life. But when she flees to live in hiding, she discovers that the royal guard are not all she has to fear. Dark creatures stalk her, reports of oppression and war reach her ears, and her burden to protect her kingdom at any cost will not be silenced. So yeah, I like this a lot. There was just a little bit in there that kind of I had to slog through, but yeah, I really ended up liking this, and I ended up softly DNFing it earlier in the month. I was like in a mood for a fantasy, and then all of a sudden I wasn't in a mood for a fantasy, and then I was reading these contemporary romances that I was DNFing, and then I just was like, whatever. I hopped back into this and ended up finishing it. Again, I have a book review of this, so I'm not gonna hash too many details on that. Then my highest rated book, along with Forsaken Kingdom, which I still need to write my review and record my review for that. But the next one is Honeysuckle Breeze by B.R. Goodwin. Caroline and Griffin are my absolute favorite couple of the Sugar Tree series. They're just so adorable. It says, would you rather know what your best friend's lips feel like against yours but get ghosted immediately after, or never even taste the possibility of forever? What could be more worse than inconveniently falling for your long-distance best friend? How about sharing an unexpected but magical Christmas kiss with him, then being ghosted after? It's been 3 months since Caroline has spoken to Griffin Lovett, since he leaned in, gave her the kiss of her life, then returned to his life across the country without another word. After praying through the heartbreak, then pouring her emotions into glitter-filled crafts, Caroline is properly distracted. When distracted with spring wedding plans for her sister, spending time with her siblings, and enjoying her job as Sugar Tree Elementary's newest kindergarten teacher, she's nearly over the event. In fact, she barely even thinks about how special Griffin Lovett made her feel or how much she misses their easy conversations, and she definitely does not daydream about how impossibly soft his lips felt against hers. But when Griffin unexpectedly returns to Sugar Tree and enrolls his son in Caroline's class, she's forced to confront her best friend and very real feelings for him every single day. Again, these are my favorite couple of the entire series. I will say, actually, I rated it a 4.5 stars. Then, of course, like I said, Forsaken Kingdom by Rachel L. Shade, the second book in Silent Kingdom. I gave this one actually 4 stars. I'm still very reeling from that ending that we got from... I don't know how much to say about that without spoiling the first book. I don't even want to read the synopsis of the second one because it will spoil the first book. So, with that being said, absolutely loved it. 4 stars. I think I already said that. I did get a little annoyed with Halia and Averick and Halia's thoughts about Averick. I have no idea what I'm going to be getting into in the third book, Broken Kingdom. I'm still reeling from that ending. I actually, funny enough, ended up buddy reading this with Celestria, and one, it was really fun, and two, we kind of had almost the same thoughts about it. There are 2 books. I'm gonna try my best to finish one tonight, but I don't think I'm gonna make it. But that is The House on Foster Hill by Jamie Jo Wright. As of right now, I am that far through. I really don't know if I'm gonna make it, but we will try. The next book, I'm just gonna go ahead and carry it over into November, and that is Caraval by Stephanie Garber. These 2 books were on my fall TBR, so I'm really stoked to get them knocked off. With Caraval, I'm only on chapter 7, hardly gotten through it. Do have a few tabs. Just other books I've wanted to finish before really getting into this. With that being said, thank you for staying and watching my October wrap-up. Wow, my brain just kind of bleh. Let you guys know if I do finish this or if I even get halfway through. I think on Goodreads it said I was 34% through or so. So with that being said, I'm hopping off to read. What was your favorite book of October? Did you have a 5-star read? Let me know down in the comments. I will see you all in the next video. Bye!